Good morning. I have a ton of new makeup. I'm actually putting myself on a no-buy for until the Sephora sale starts, which will probably be like end of October, because I have so much new makeup and I just need to be content with what I have right now. So I totally cleaned out and restocked. This is what I consider my daily, everyday makeup that sits on my desk. And then I have 4 little Rubbermaid drawer things. So a total of 12 drawers full of makeup that I don't reach for this time of year, but I still keep in my collection. So let's get started. I always start with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. This is actually just a really nice priming water. Another one that I really like that I kind of rotate in and out is the NYX Bear With Me Multitasking Spray. These are both from the drugstore. If you want a higher end one, the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus is a nice one. All right, I also, one of the new things I got, which was a repurchase, I repurchased my favorite makeup primer. This is very expensive. I'm not even gonna tell you how much it costs, but I love it. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that, like a pea-sized amount, and apply that all over the face and a little bit down the jawline and the neck, since I do put makeup there. I'm kind of losing my summer tan, although I did get burned last weekend at a football game. And there's just some products that I prefer to wear in the fall and the winter that I switched out from my summer every day. Okay, this is something new. I'm very excited. It is the Hourglass Veil Hydrating Skin Tint. I got mine in the shade 5. I'm just gonna give it a little shake. And I'm trying to decide how I want to apply this. If I want to use a brush or a sponge. Maybe I'll try each. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit and kind of dot it on my face like I usually do. And we'll go in with a brush at first. This is supposed to be a super light, almost sheer coverage skin tint, which isn't usually my jam. I like medium to full coverage, but I've just heard so many good things about this, and there are times and places where I do need just a sheer wash of color. We're just gonna do the same on the other side because I like how that applied with a brush. So we're just gonna dot some of this on. Another like little pea-sized amount. Hourglass is one of the most expensive brands that I buy from. It's probably the most luxury. I buy makeup that ranges from like $3 to like, I'm not even gonna say. This was like 40 some dollars, this skin tint. So it's ridiculous, but okay, that does look really pretty. It blended in kind of like a moisturizer. I mean, it's a skin tint, so that's what I was expecting. But just very skin-like, just kind of brightened and evened things out a little bit. but you can definitely still see my skin coming through, my dark spots and stuff. Okay, I also have a new concealer. I'm a bit nervous about this because the color is going to be very peachy pink. This is the new Haus Labs Triclone concealer. I got the Share 06 Fair Rosy. I probably should have gotten, this is a very cool toned concealer, and I probably should have gotten the 05, which isn't as cool toned, it's more neutral and warm. But this is what I got, so we're gonna try it. If I love this, I will buy it in a different shade. So I'm just gonna go in with where I normally put concealer. And let's see, I'm just gonna go ahead and let this sit for about 20-30 seconds and then blend it out with my damp sponge. My favorite sponge is from Hailey's Beauty. I get them on Amazon for about $8 a piece. And then sometimes Hailey's Beauty website runs a sale where you can like buy one, get one free or whatever. So I really also like the Dose of Colors sponge. And then there's one from the drugstore. It's an e.l.f. sponge that's $6 that I like. Okay, that blended in really nicely. I wouldn't say that's full coverage, but I don't think it's supposed to be. It's like a medium coverage, which is fine, especially for today's look. And blended in, I think that color of concealer is gonna be fine. Looks a little pink when you first put it on, but once you blend it out, I mean, that blended out like a dream. That was the easiest concealer blending I've ever done. Let's see if I have a brush. Here we go. To set my under eye, I'm gonna go in with this Laura Mercier under eye setting powder and just set everywhere I put that concealer, just around the eyes. I'll set the rest of the face shortly. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna use any cream. Oh, I am gonna use a cream blush, so. I was gonna say, I don't think I'm gonna use any cream bronzer or blush today, so I could just powder my whole face, but I am because I have a new shade in the Saei liquid blush in the shade Poppy that I'm gonna use today. So with that, I'm also just gonna go in with my normal cream bronzer routine. This is the Rare Beauty bronzer stick in the shade Happy Soul. Just a little bit today. I washed my makeup brushes last night and they're still drying, so the brushes I'm using today are kind of like brushes I always save for when I'm washing the rest of my collection. I have two of these though, so one of them was washed and one of them I kept out. And this is the BK Beauty 109 brush. I'm just gonna take whatever's left on the brush from blending and kind of run it along my jawline and down my neck a little bit. Okay, ooh, the sun behind me is pretty dang bright. Okay, super excited about this. This is my very favorite formula of liquid blush. Woo, baby. That is neon. I think it'll be really pretty under a fall shade of powder blush. So we're gonna go with it. Ooh, this seems more pigmented than the other shade I have. I maybe used too much. The other shade I have that I use just about every day is in the shade Chili. It's more of a mauve-y rose. Holy cow, that blush is pigmented. I'm gonna try to bring that pigmentation down a little bit. I gotta shut this blind. See if that helps any. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, I know now that I need to use a little bit less blush in the poppy shade, but it's really pretty. It's everything I wanted it to be for a fall shade. So I am gonna go in with my Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder in the shade Pound Cake. I have this powder in the shade Cupcake. I wear it all the time and love it. And so the scent of this powder, oh my god. And I used way too much at first, but it kind of like in shipping, it kind of went everywhere. She just came out with this powder, but in a pressed powder formula, and I've heard it doesn't have a scent. And I'm not really a pressed powder kind of girl, but hopefully that means she's going to relaunch these loose powders with a scent-free formula. I got this everywhere. Jesus. I have this shade in a mini, so I knew I would like it. I just don't like the packaging of the mini, so I just went in with the full size. Okay, my complexion's looking pretty good because even though that foundation was like a sheer coverage, that powder has some coverage to it. So, I mean, I look very natural and skin-like, but still put together, which is what I was going for, so. Okay, now that the face is prepped and set, the base is set, we're gonna do brows. So because we're kind of doing a light makeup day, a natural looking makeup day, I should say, I'm just gonna go in with this tinted brow gel. This is the Gimme Brow from Benefit. And fill in my brows a little bit. Oops. My pregnancy hormones have really done wonders for my hair, including my brows. I know that is about to be a thing of the past. So once I have this baby, I think I'm gonna lose most of my hair. Okay. The star of the show today is my new Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked palette. I chose the cover Owl. They have 4 covers to choose from. And I chose palette number 3, which is actually the darkest. This is meant for like tan to dark toned skin tones. I am fair to light, but the other 2 had a lot of repeat shades in them that I already have in my other 2 Hourglass palettes. So Hourglass releases these special edition face palettes every year around this time, their holiday limited edition. And so I have to be very careful with this palette and the shades in here because it's designed for much darker skin tones. But I am going to take a light hand, very light, and go in with the bronzer. which I think if I just use a dual-ended brush like I'm using and a light hand, this bronzer shade will work for me. Because the star of the show today is really going to be the blush, the cream blush and the powder blush that I'm going to do next. Okay, with that on, I am going to go in with that bronzer on a smaller brush and just use that to kind of contour out the sides of my nose and under my lip. And then we can take our powder brush and diffuse that out a little bit. All right, this is what I'm most excited about for in this whole palette, and really the reason I purchased this palette. It is the new blush shade. Oh wait, yeah, in the shade Sunbeam. And I just think it's gonna look so freaking pretty on top of that cream blush. So I'm gonna take, again, a very fluffy brush with a light hand and go in with that blush. And again, this is designed for darker skin tones. That I am not, so I'm just trying to be very careful with my application. Oh yeah, this is what I was going for sure. That's the nice thing about Hourglass shades. I really do think they are so flexible in how you can use them. Okay, I'm not going to use a highlighter or a setting finishing powder out of that palette because they're just going to be too dark for me. But what I will do is go in with my Becca highlighter in the shade Champagne Pop. This is one of my favorite highlighters of all time, and definitely my favorite and most used in the fall because it has a little bit of a warm undertone to it. It's a champagne color, but it has kind of a golden undertone. So super pretty on top of that blush. Wow. Okay, looking good. I'm gonna go into this Hourglass palette that I got 2 years ago and go in with this finishing powder. This kind of just allows all of those powders to like blend together, the blushes and the bronzers. It's not really a setting powder. At least I don't use it as that. Okay. Face is looking good. Really like the makeup today so far. Okay, for lips, I don't think I meant to put this in there. I might need to sharpen this. A couple new fall. Oh yeah, that's what we're doing today for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Anywhere Caffeine. I'm gonna give this a little sharpen. This is such a good fall color. Then I'm gonna go in with this matte lipstick from Milani in the shade Tease. Yes, so pretty. Exactly what I was picturing today's look to come out as, so I'm just so happy. I'm gonna go in with the Dose of Colors lip gloss in the shade Seriously. You could totally leave your lips like this if you like a matte look. Ooh, this is gonna be my fall combo. My fall lip combo. Perfection. All right, let's do the eyes. I've been reaching nonstop for my new I Need a Nude Natasha Denona palette. It is just the perfect cooler toned, neutral eyeshadow palette. I'm trying to decide if I want to wear that today or something else. Just taking a peek at what I got. You know what I need to do? I need to really decide if I like this palette or not. It's the mini Natasha Denona Nude palette. So this is really, the reason I don't know if I like this is because this transition shade is so stinking warm. And then these two shimmer shades are really dark. So I find myself only using this one, which is beautiful on the lid, and this one, which is dark and tends to be a little difficult for me to blend. But I need to start using some of these things that I don't reach for and making a decision. So I have lots of friends and like my niece and my niece's friends who would love to be handed this palette down if it's not something I'm gonna continue to use. So I'm just gonna use it today and see how I feel about it. I mean, this is a beautiful transition color for warmer fall looks. So maybe I just need to reserve this for a certain time of year, and then I would feel better about it. I mean, the Natasha Denona formula is probably definitely a top 3 formula for me. It's just really good. Okay, let's go in with this shade. I'm just gonna go in pretty lightly. Whoops. And, oh, this got wet. Why did that hit? Okay, never mind. We're gonna go in with this brush. And deepen up the crease. Feather that out a bit. Okay, this is actually working really nicely today. So maybe, very possibly, I just wasn't using the right maybe I was going in too heavy-handed before. Maybe I wasn't using the best brush choices for this. This one looks a little... I'm just going in with another brush that's clean to kind of blend this out even more. It didn't have any product on the bristles. I'm gonna go back into that brown shade and pinch this brush together, the bristles, and dust that on my lower lash line. Ooh. See, she gets dark pretty fast. Okay. Really the only shimmer in this palette that I like is the center one, so we are going to go in with the center one today. I can use my finger. Maybe I'll use my finger. You can use your finger or a brush. This is just a really beautiful, light, kind of an off-white shimmer with like gold reflex and very metallic. I got a little bit on my lower, under my eyes, but it brushed right off, so, okay. I am going to use some brown eyeliner today, since it's a fall makeup look. And so I'm gonna get this all over the top lash, and I think I'm gonna do my waterline today too, which is not something I do usually in the summer because it's just so dark and vampy. But fall, yeah, I'm here for it. Oh yeah. Okay, at this point we're gonna assess. I think I'm just gonna take a little bit of the bronzer that's still on the brush. I'm not dipping back into the bronzer at all. I'm just making sure that the bronzer is nice and deep shade wise. I'm gonna set my face and then do mascara. So this is almost gone, probably 1 or 2 uses left, but I do have a backup because I can never go without my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. So we put a pretty hefty layer of that on, then I dry it down. And once it's dried a little, I go in with my sponge and just press that setting spray into the skin. Okay. My skin's looking really, really nice close up. That blush, the blush combo that I did is pretty dang pigmented. But blush is the star of the show today, so it's okay. Okay, the last new thing I have to try. This is not new. I'm just gonna set my brows like I do every day with my Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. If this ruins my makeup, I'm gonna be so pissed. But this is a new mascara from Clinique. It's the High Impact Hi-Fi Full Volume Mascara. And I've heard a few different influencers say nothing but good things. Okay, I see why. This is exactly what I like in the mascara, and I love the wand. I always make such a freaking mess when I do mascara on my right eye using my left hand. but it comes off with the, once it dries, it comes off with a Q-tip. So, okay, that I love. It reminds me a lot of this, which is my everyday favorite. So that's good. It's a drier formula, which I also love. Okay. All right. I see what you did there, Clinique. I'm going to put a little bit of highlighter in my inner corner to kind of brighten this area up a little bit. And then what's on the left on the brush, I'm just going to run under my brow bone to kind of highlight this. All right. That eyeshadow palette, it's okay. It's just not my favorite, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to clean this eye up, but time to go do hair. I'm a little... In this light, I feel like I'm not bronzed enough, but I think once I go upstairs in natural light, I will be. So I'm very tempted to dip into this one more time. Ooh, see, and then I get a little too... I like a bronzed forehead. I'm weird. Okay. That's all she wrote for today. I really like everything we tried. Good makeup day.